Hi friends.
Hey.
We have got a story for you. Our first week and a half have been nothing of what we expected on this trip. This guy has probably taken like 98% of the stress and burden of everything. Would you think that's a good percentage?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I just say, hey, I found something in my pocket. It's a silver lining.
A lot of those.
I do have a lot of those. But you know what? God is good and He is so faithful. And we are in Utah right now and we are driving to Las Vegas tonight. Never been there. But we're going to share a little bit of our story. The gist of it is we broke down. Oh, that's him. All right, we'll be back. All right, so the gist of it is we left on January 8th. It is now January 18th. 18th. It's been 10 days. And we drove from Minnesota to Utah. And that's how far we got, which I think was like 1,060 miles is how far we made it in our RV. And our RV broke down 4 times within our first 6 days of travel.
First time, it was we needed a new radiator.
No, alternator.
Alternator. So we switched out the alternator. Then there was a leak in the engine coolant.
The second time?
The second time. Then the third time, the guys that changed our alternator used the old belts, so the belt snapped the third time. And then the fourth time, we don't really know what happened.
We don't know. And
It
we
just
didn't
shut off
and we
as we
didn't
were
find out either.
On the road.
And we were just like, we were done after that one. But I will preface with saying, when did we buy the RV? October 31st, you said?
Yes.
And Seaborn he spent like a month before that, like looking at RVs and like going to see different RVs. And then we got this one and he spent from October 31st to the day we left on January 8th. Well, we tried to leave on the 6th, but it broke down in our driveway. And then it broke down 20 minutes from home. And he worked on it for 2 full months, renovating it completely. And it looked amazing. He did such a spectacular job. I loved every piece of it. We were so excited. But because we did break down in our driveway and then again 20 minutes from home and had to get towed and like took 2 days for us to get back on the road, we decided that we would drive Seaborn's vehicle along with it. It was going to be like a lot of money, like thousands of dollars to add. What's it called, babe?
The tow bar.
A tow bar.
Onto our
Onto his Kia Sorento.
In order to tow the car with
Yeah.
the RV, but that's still probably, that RV couldn't tow that car.
No.
It's just not.
It was, we probably wouldn't have made it that far. So I drove behind in his Kia Sorento, just in case, it was like a backup, as like a safety precaution. And we were so glad that we did, because then we still broke down 2 more times. 3 more times? I don't know. So many times. And then we were able, instead of getting like an Uber or whatever, we could just hop in the car and then go to where we needed to go.
And
so
thank the Lord we got roadside assistance, got good insurance, so every time we needed a tow, we did not have to pay out of pocket.
Yes.
Which was great.
Such a gift.
But I felt really bad for our insurance company. Because we literally only had insurance.
It was like 4 days in a row that we had to call them and be like, well, we're stuck.
And it's not easy finding people that can tow a 26-foot RV.
Or a mechanic that will work on a big RV.
Yeah.
That was like a big issue. Also wanted to say, we had a full diagnostic inspection on the RV before we left.
I got 2 of them because I took them to 2 different RV shops and both of them did inspections.
Everything was fine.
Of the RV, and mechanically everything checked out. There were a few things and we had them
and they fixed them. And there were small things.
Yeah.
And the guy we bought it from, was like a mechanic, and he kept really good care of it. So everything was dandy until it wasn't. And the third time that we broke down was on an icy, like super windy, very steep Colorado mountain, and literally God saved our lives because it literally gave out. He lost power steering, and there just happened to be a little side, like I don't know, what do you call that?
It's like a little side area where you can pull over.
Where you can pull over
Look at
on this mountain. And it died right there. And Seaborn was able, how did you do it? I don't even know how you did, because the power steering gave out. You had to shove it over to try to get it to the side. And there's just these huge semis and cars like zooming by around this icy mountain. It was insane and just not safe at all. God saved our lives, because if he would have gone anywhere, if he would have stopped anywhere else where there wasn't a side area for him to go, there's no way that cars would have been able to stop in time, like to not hit us, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
The fourth time was in the middle of nowhere, Utah. And this is a whole other story, okay? Because we had some really cool experiences in Colorado because of being stranded there for a couple of days. Because it happened on a Friday and the mechanics wasn't open until a Monday. Also, they couldn't find the RV. I think we stalled out at 4 p.m. and they couldn't find it till 10 p.m.
Because it was deep in the mountains and there's just not, the mile markers are really far apart.
Yes.
And it was up there. So it took them probably a whole day.
Yeah, 6 hours.
We broke down
or so.
at 2 and they didn't find it until 10:30 p.m. that night.
It was insane. And so no one knew. I think they sent out 4 different tow trucks to get it.
Yeah.
One of them damaged it.
One tow truck got there, but the RV was too big for his tow, so he couldn't take it.
One got it on and damaged the roof and then gave up and took it off. Yeah. And then finally by 10 p.m. he's on the phone with a tow truck. They're like, all right, we found it. And they were able to get it in. And then they were able to tow it, but then the mechanic place was already closed, so we had to wait Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday was Zion's 4th birthday, and they worked on it, and then by 5 p.m. I think we were able to hit the road. So then we made it from Colorado to the middle of Utah, and there's nothing around. There was nothing around. The nearest town was 30 minutes away. So we drove the 30 minutes, so another huge blessing that we brought his car with, because then we were in the middle of nowhere on a busy highway, again in the mountains.
Salina, Utah. Nearest town.
It said friendly people, friendly service, I think. And the people were so friendly. They were wonderful.
And then they directed us to a town that was probably another 15 miles, 20 miles away, called Richfield, Utah.
Well, and it was funny because when we were in Salina, there was a tow place, but the guys were gone mining or something like that. So Seaborn calls the guy and explains the situation. He's like, yeah, hold on, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And just pulls up and helps guide us, and then so we eventually made it to Richfield, which was just 20-30 minutes away. And then I'll let you take over from there.
And we got the RV towed to the town of Richfield, Utah. And at this point, I was kind of just we got to count our losses with this RV. We spent a lot of money in mechanical repairs. There was also a gas leak issue. So we were spending a lot of money on
to stop every 2 to 3 hours and fill it up.
Yeah,
sometimes less. Felt like.
No, yeah, less. But we didn't realize that the gas was leaking until halfway towards the end there. And then we realized that there's an issue.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was kind of just we can't continue to go on this trip the way we're going, and I was ready to honestly pack it up and be done.
and we were really trying to what are our options here? So one, literally give up and just drive back to Minnesota leave the RV and leave all our belongings. Just be done. Option 2, give up. Have someone tow the RV back home, because we were like,
Would have been a lot. I didn't.
thousands and thousands of dollars to tow from Utah to Minnesota, but like we wanted to Airbnb it eventually. We wanted to use it again. All of our stuff is in it, and we were like, no, we can't do that. Option 3, get it fixed up and try to drive it back home, and it'll probably break down many more times. So those were the 3 give up options, and then the not give up options would be to fix it up, see how far we can get before it breaks down again. 4 breakdowns in 6 days is a little intense. So then option 5 was basically,
that many options.
I mean, now as I'm saying it, I feel like there was, but I don't know, maybe at the time we were just like, what do we do here? So the option 5 was like kind of like starting fresh, like starting over and continuing with the journey. So we chose,
Oh, you want me to?
I do. We chose
We chose to do what we should have probably
Option
done in the
5.
first place, and that was to invest in a good trailer, travel trailer that we could pull. But then it led us to the issue of my Kia Sorento does not have a
towing
lot of
capacity.
towing capacity. I think it only had like 1,600 towing capacity, and any type of travel trailer we needed was at least like 4,500.
Yeah.
So my Kia Sorento I've had for a little over 2.5 years. It's a good car, but it is a tight squeeze for the family to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
So we had already had in the back of our mind that, you know, it might be a good idea to look into getting a new vehicle. So what we decided to do was get a good vehicle that fit our family that we can tow the travel trailer in. So we we ended up getting to Richfield, Utah, and getting connected with Jorgensen's Ford and Jorgensen Honda.
And from start to finish, they've been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. They
We're
helped
blown
us
away.
find the SUV. We got a Ford Expedition.
So we're in our new car. Didn't think we'd have a new car on this trip.
And then they helped us find the perfect travel trailer to fit us all and give us exactly what we need. It's been awesome.
Yeah. And so
They've been super amazing.
Oh.
Really nice people.
so good. We literally were like, this town is filled with friendly people and like very truly helpful. So the issue was to be able to like trade in our RV and our Kia Sorento for this new vehicle and travel trailer. Because we bank with US Bank, so for the loans to go through, you have to be at a branch. The nearest branch was an hour and a half away, and there was no other way to do this. So we had to drive an hour and a half, go to the bank, and it was at a grocery store. Like we literally just had to go into this little. So it was in Cedar City, Utah. We went to this grocery store.
You would think in 2020 that you would be able to close on a car loan remotely, but apparently you can't. You have to physically be at a location to sign documents. They couldn't fax or
nothing.
Scan and email documents over to the dealership.
And it's like, don't people get stranded in the middle of nowhere with their family of 8 and a dog all the time when they're in a real pickle and they need a new vehicle? Like this stuff happens. Like we had no other option, and they were like not in a rush to do anything. But then Seaborn went in and kind of just explained our situation. They were like, oh yeah, well, we'll do what we can to make this happen as fast as we can. And they actually could not get it done until the next day, so we ended up spending 2 nights in Cedar City waiting for it all to process.
And Cedar City is an hour and a half away from
Richfield. So like it was past Richfield, like towards, we were trying to get to Las Vegas. So they were there. So then once it got approved, we had to go back to Richfield. So now right now we're going back to Cedar City. So it was like this, we've got a lot of back and forth in between there, but it's all we could do. Got everything worked out, got back to Richfield yesterday, signed all the papers, and then we had to switch over everything. So like switch out everything from the car to this new car, switch out everything from the RV, which was packed up, and put it into the new travel trailer. And then it was like 6 o'clock by the time we were done, and we got in the vehicle and we had everything in the RV, and they were like, ooh, there's a little too much weight and it wasn't balanced. And so they said, well, we'd like, for like the safety of your family, we'd like to put like an equalizer hitch, so that it equalizes the weight and keeps everything more balanced.
Yeah, they were concerned about the car scraping on the tire because it was really close to the tire. So as we were driving up a hill or something like that, it could get lower and scrape the tires.
Yeah, so they said they could do it in the morning. So we were about to leave and head back to Cedar City, and we said okay. So we boondocked in their parking lot, and they fixed it up this morning. We cruised around the Walmart by them, and they like let Seaborn drive their, is it like an ATV? They're like, yeah, just take this over there, and he drove in it with the kids. They just were so nice, and they're bomb. If you guys ever need anything, go to Jorgensen's in Richfield, Utah. They have a bowling alley attached to their ATV, like power sports business, and they own that too. And there's like an arcade and bowling and stuff. So like while we were signing papers, they like brought all the kids over there and let them play arcade games and got them like pop, and the kids had a blast. They like went above and beyond, like from start to finish. We were so, like, they just made us feel like really safe and really taken care of, and like we were like, dang, we gotta come back to Richfield, Utah. So now we're on the road, and all is well now. I mean, we're pretty excited, right? He's got quite the, do you feel like it's a big learning curve driving this? Or are you kind of getting the hang of it?
Hauling a trailer? Yeah. It's a little
bit.
Getting the hang of it.
It's a little bit of a learning curve, especially because like we're like in the curvy mountains right now. But he's just like a rock star, so he's doing really well. The kids are really excited. We get to drive together now. If you guys have been watching my Instagram and my stories, you have seen that I had just been driving by myself mostly. Sammy's been with me and Arrow's been with me sometimes, but I've just been in the car behind. So now we actually get to drive together. The kids have a lot more space in the back, and like our dog has a lot more space. So it's been crazy and insane and not what we expected at all, but we're pretty happy, right, babe?
Yeah.
And you know, we can say like we should have done this from the beginning, this like, but we've never done this before. And while people have given us such good advice, and we've taken a lot of really great advice, but we're also like, you learn best through experience, and so we knew we would learn.
I think our biggest thing too was, one, we do not like taking out loans for cars.
We never do.
Let alone a travel trailer.
We never do.
We just don't like doing that. We'd rather pay things cash.
Yes.
And
so that was out of our comfort zone.
So we wanted to just buy an RV cash, an old one, renovate it.
Yep.
Not put such a huge investment into this whole thing because
it was our first time.
So
yeah.
we didn't know. So that's why we went that route, and it kind of backfired. It did not work out.
Like really backfired.
So here we are. We made the investment. I think even in those 6 days where pretty much everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, we were able to find like ways to just like enjoy the trip, and we got to see like cool little random cities that we probably never would have stopped at, like Arvada, Colorado.
Yes.
Salina, Richfield, Utah, Cedar City, Utah.
Yes.
These are all places that weren't even, I didn't even know that they existed. And and we just met some really nice people there, and it was amazing. And we just decided, hey, this is something is worth investing in. We're gonna do this.
Yeah. And the
often.
driving doesn't bother us at all.
No.
Like, we love this.
Yeah.
The
And we're
kids
gonna
are so
eventually get to
good.
the point where we're not driving as much.
Yes.
This first haul has been a lot.
It's been a lot. And that's so true, because I was like, man, our first 10 days have been absolutely nuts. And I still am like, I love this. This is fun. Like, I can see us doing this more. Even with everything going wrong. And honestly, not to toot our kids' horns, but they've been so good. Like, they've been so good. And just like such troopers. Like, never knowing what we're gonna do each day, and they just been going with it and being so helpful and wonderful and kind. So we were like, you know what, this is something we're gonna keep doing. This is our first 4-month trip, and then we just have the capabilities, because here's the thing. You know, when you normally are like planning a trip and you're like, oh, hotel stays are gonna be so expensive. And so when we thought about that, we're like, we never have to worry about the hotel stay part anymore, because we can just take our travel trailer now, and we don't mind the driving. So we knew that it was a good investment. Also, we're so like entrepreneur mind. We're like, we can Airbnb it or rent it out. So there's a lot of possibilities. We've got it all now. So we didn't have many options. As I told you, we had about 5-ish options. 3 of them had to do with giving up and going home. So maybe 2 options to move forward. So there you have it. We're pretty happy now.
Yeah, we're on the road. We get to drive together. We're heading to warm weather. Warmer weather.
It's already been lovely.
Back
So,
home, it's what, like negative degrees right now, the big snowstorm. So Utah is actually pretty nice right now.
So good.
It's like 40 degrees, sunny.
It's so nice.
So
We've been playing at the park like almost every day and not wearing jackets. So even now it's been nice. Yeah, babe.
Now it's finally done going in hotels.
Finally done in hotels. Yes, Shiloh. Now we can stay in our trailer, right? So there you have it, you guys. That's the long and short, mostly the long, of why we haven't shared anything in a while, because we haven't known what it's gonna look like. It's been more stress-filled than we thought. But we don't give up pretty easily. Right, Teebs? No, we don't. So we're gonna hopefully get to Las Vegas tonight. Never been there, none of us have been. And then we're headed to Malibu, California. We'll be heading up to, I don't know if it's up, but I'm not good with geography. Down to Joshua Tree?
well, from Malibu?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna go to Joshua Tree, Palm Springs. Then we'll be heading into Arizona. Is New Mexico next after that? Then we're gonna spend a good chunk of time in Texas. This guy's excited to go to El Paso. And then we'll see where we are, because nothing has gone expected, and we've just learned to release all expectations of what it's gonna look like. Not necessarily have a timeline, and just see what the Lord has for us. There's been so many like sweet, unexpected surprises along the way, like Arvada, Colorado. We were at this like cute little library because we had to kill time. Because what were we waiting for? For them to get done with the RV, right? And it was Zion's birthday, and there was homeless people everywhere. And it was like just a normal little suburb outside of Denver. So Seaborn was having a little chat with the librarian at the library, and what did she say?
She was just talking about how the city is dedicated to helping the homeless there, and how they have so many programs and things set up for them, and that's why there's so many homeless people in that suburb. But it's not like it's I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it seems like it's a mixture of like a very like wealthy suburban
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
but then you have a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to me because in a lot of suburbs like that, they push them out, they kind of, but they were talking about how the Arvada police and the city themselves is they allow them to be there and they help them. And,
Yeah.
so like if you go to like a normal Target in Arvada, there's probably like 3 homeless people laying on the sidewalk in front of the Target or in the parking lot, and that's just welcomed by them. So I just thought it was a unique town and an interesting perspective on it. And
Yeah, like the library had hours every day that the homeless people were welcome to come in and take a hot shower.
Hot showers and get hot meals.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
I've
the
never
church,
seen that from the public library. Ever.
no. The church across the street. Hey, Makeda. You got 2 babies sleeping, honey. The church across the street from the library had like recovery programs, shelters for them, and like food services for them. And yeah, like in many other places, like you see a homeless person, someone will call the cops on them and they have to go. And it just like was not the case there. It was like the whole community welcomed them and wanted to help take care of them. And so it was just neat to like witness that and then like hear from the librarian, like someone who lives in the town, about like where their hearts are with it. And so that's like another one of those things where we just never would have got to experience like even something like more simple as that. It's like wonderful to see. Like we went hiking in Red Rock Park in Colorado, and it's like we want to see all those things, but it's kind of just like those really special, unique towns and people that kind of have been like the sweetest part of it all.
Yeah, Red Rocks was amazing. I'm gonna go back there.
So pretty.
In like the summer too.
Yeah, so we do have a YouTube video about that up too, so if you guys want to check that out. We won't make it to Zion National Park this year.
We're driving right by it, but
Yeah, I'm giving this face because this guy just is like...
Cedar. So when we went to Cedar City, Utah, it was only because we had to go to that was the closest U.S. bank, which was an hour and a half away from Richfield, Utah. And we did not realize that Cedar City, Utah was only about 40 minutes away from Zion National Park. And we were stuck there for 2 days waiting for US Bank to do.
And it's like the one place I really wanted to go to on this trip.
Yeah, and we didn't realize that until everything was finalized. We were sitting in the parking lot and we're about to leave to head back to Jorgensen's to bring the check and everything. And for some reason, I just looked at my Google Maps and I'm like, Zion National Park is only 40 minutes away.
We could have made a day of it.
We could have made a day of it while we were waiting, but we didn't.
Nope. Now it's just
And
like...
we still can make a day of it, but
But what, babe? What?
we just need to. It's time to get to warmer weather.
He's just ready to... But the good thing is that we have a tractor trailer and a car that hauls it now, so we can literally go whenever we want. Right? That's right. Which some people have been asking how we are able to do this 4-month trip. And that's another story for another day. That's another YouTube episode for you guys that we'll share about how we were able to... I feel like I've been squinting this whole...
Yeah.
I know. Did you put them in here from the... There they are. So we'll share that in the next... one of the next episodes, but you got me a pair?
She busted.
Oh man, these ones. Alright. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Let us know any questions you have, what more you want us to share about our trip. But sorry, this is a long episode, but we had a lot of ground to cover. But God is good. I mean, He's literally saved our lives numerous times on this trip. He's provided in ways that we couldn't have imagined, and he's just been faithful through it all. So we are sitting in a lot of gratitude right now and just trusting in him. So thank you all for praying for us. Thank you for staying tuned with us, and we'll be sure to share more along the way. So just comment below, make sure you subscribe, share this with other people. Just let us know other content that you guys want us to share about while we're on the trip. All right, peace out.
Peace.